Testing, testing. All right. So, looks like we are live. Yeah, we're live. That's my notification. So, if you didn't know, I have a Galaxy. Yeah, I've been having a Galaxy since like high school. Actually, no. Yeah, first year of high school. I had that. I forgot you call it. The Galaxy, like it was like white, and then it had like that plastic covering in the back, and then when it fell, and it'll happen to me all the time. When it fell, all of it will come out, the battery, everything, and those were those dark times, I guess. So if you didn't know, now you know. So and I just want to make sure the resolution is good, because last time the resolution was a little bit iffy. Let me just double check if we're good. I kind of just want to see, and then we start. So I hope you guys are having a good time. I am tired, but I don't want to go to sleep just yet. I had a late night service, so midnight service. I think that's how you call it. I don't really know, to be honest. I think it's like visual. I think that's what you call it. Visual. You know. And we had in Spanish, it's called vigilia. So if you didn't know, now you know. So yeah, we had vigilia. So kind of stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning. I could not do it, bro. I was so exhausted. I ended up falling asleep in the very first time. I have never fallen asleep before in 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 church, man. It was just so bad. I just couldn't. I couldn't, man. I couldn't stay up. Anyway, I got something to keep me active. So look at that. So we got if you didn't know, we got what is this? Cocoa. We got coconut juice. So it's pretty big. And then I got salsa. Damn it. Hopefully that's definitely gonna explode. We got Celsius. So Celsius. What am I saying? Whatever. And then I'm still a kid sometimes. I got these. Can't resist. So we can focus. There we go. So we got these bad boys. I don't know. I like them. They're pretty good. They kind of give me a little bit like I can't explain it. Like oh, I don't know why I'm saying that. I think it's loud, isn't it? So I just want to lower it. Can't hear anything though. Let me see. Before we begin streaming, there it is. General video. I mean, it looks pretty good to me. I don't really care. I don't care. So, all right. Here's the news. Okay. So I'm so nervous. We just had a meeting, actually. Believe it or not. I should have brought that folder back there. I'll probably bring it later. So we have a meeting. We had a meeting, and yeah. So the meeting is basically we're gonna go evangelize tomorrow, and I am nervous and excited at the same time. It's been a while since I did any of that before. This time I'm gonna be bolden. You know, it's gonna be just I don't know. It's gonna go crazy. What I'm trying to say. You always gotta tap these. You know what I mean? But yeah. So it's gonna be very crazy. Basically, I don't know how I can't explain it to you guys. I just can't explain it. It's something that's always been a part of me. Always been trying to push me to do this thing, but I never. I have done it. I have done it several times, right? Evangelize, but I never like grab a microphone and just went up and just yell at the mic and pretty much say whatever the scripture says, right? I never had that bolden spirit. You know, I never had that. And obviously we all do. We all have the Holy Spirit, Christians, right? So, and I don't know, man. It's just like I got to a point where I have to be honest with God, right? I have to basically say, okay, it's God or nothing. I'm all in, or I'm not. You know, I got all my eggs in one basket, or what? You know, so I'm all in at this point, and we're gonna go and evangelize. We're gonna go do it. And it's gonna be even I don't know, man. I'm nervous about it. So this is how we're gonna set up, and I'm excited at the same time. So it's so weird. So we're gonna set up a table. We got a table, and then we got a little tent, and then a couple of mics. Not like this mic. I got all the things set up in the back, and then we're gonna get like 4 different cameras, and different perspectives. So we're gonna try getting just different cameras, and then I'm not sure if we're gonna do like the two mic approach because I don't know if I'm there yet to answer questions. I'm not gonna lie. So but if I feel like I can do it, I will try. So and let me actually get that for you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So my guy who is chilling back there. Stay over there. All right, so I written everything down. At least what we were supposed to talk about. So here we go. So I made a list of things we got. Look at it, list. 2 things. So, oh man, I dropped something. So we got a table, we got a tent, like I mentioned before, and then we got a sign that it's gonna be in a cardboard, pretty much in a board that says "Try Jesus." So just a question. Well, actually a statement. Basically, I'm trying to control the art. Like, if it's gonna be argument, I'm trying to control the argument. If it's gonna be a general question, I'm trying to control the general question. So when someone says, "Oh, that question, try Jesus," I want to know, right? It could be many different ideas gonna pop in their heads. But the main idea is basically Jesus is the only way, the truth, the light, right? We all know that the only one to go to the Father except through me. So pretty much Jesus, right? So what we want is to put a seed, pretty much plant a seed, and that person will go on his her or his way and sprout. So hopefully that will happen. That's the main goal. That's the main goal for tomorrow. So we're gonna see what happens. And now on top of that, we got these questions. So like it's gonna be basically how I'm going to be preaching. So I want to talk about the problems of the world. Also the works of Jesus, like what he did on earth, right? And then the invitation, the salvation, pretty much grace, and then the wrath of God, the condemnation, why we are facing condemnation, and then salvation. So and that's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking in different Bible scriptures and outside sources too, because I really, really want to hone on the fact that we don't just need a Bible. Even though the Bible, New Testament, is reliable, like really, really reliable, scholarly reliable, archaeology reliable. So again, there's a lot of facts in the Bible, in the New Testament, and also in the Old Testament, of course. But we're centered mostly on Jesus here. So again, I think we have a good case here. And just to push it further, I'm gonna put this away somewhere here. There we go. So just to push it further, I got these books that I'm starting to pick up again. So we got The Long War Against God. That's another book there. We got The Mission of God. I believe this one, Unlocking God's Narrative. I only read like a couple of chapters in, so it's pretty good. And these are my favorites. So we got A Cold Case of Christianity, which is really good too. So that's another one. And then we got also God's Crime Scene. So it's pretty cool. This guy is a homicide detective, and he decided to go investigate like an actual detective would, and trying to find the crime scene of God. The existence of him, pretty much. And then this one is pretty good too. This one has like the Trinity, the theology of God. So it's really good too. And then yeah. So and let me start off with John MacArthur, Romans. So it's one of my favorite books right now. Rest in peace. John MacArthur passed away this year. Man, a lot of people passed away this year, man. I just cannot believe Charlie Cook died, and also now I woke up, I think today. What's his name? I always forget his name. I'll pull him up right now. He just passed away too. There we go. Yeah, Pastor Vadi, man. Vadi passed away. And dude, man, he was 50. He was 56 years old, and he passed away. So they don't really give any explanations on how he passed away. They just said that he had like an incident. So I don't know what that means. But man, he's in heaven right now. So he's with the Father, and that's the best gift, But I know he adopted 9 kids. So I don't know. That's kind of cool. You know, if you didn't try cocoa, it's pretty good too. So just letting you know. Okay, so we're gonna go right into John MacArthur's scriptures. Unfortunately, you guys can't see it. I should add like a second camera so you guys can see what I'm reading to. That'd be pretty cool, right? We don't know, but anyway, let's go to Romans chapter 1, which is already here. Pull up my camera. Pull up the scriptures. So there we go. Get everything set up. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm trying to memorize this verse right here. This one's really hard to memorize, bro. But unfortunately, I have remembered this one. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for in it the power of God. For in it is the power of God. Yeah, for it is the power of God, brings salvation to everyone, right? Yeah, to everyone who believes. To everyone who believes. First the Jew, then the Gentile. And that's the second verse I have to remember. For in the gospel, the righteousness of God is revealed, a righteousness that is by faith, from faith to last, just as it is written, the righteous will live by faith. I don't really like the NIV version for some reason. I don't know. I do like the old version. I pull it up really quickly. I really do like this one. Let me bring that up. I don't know why. It just it sounds a lot cleaner and better for some reason to me, in my opinion. So we're gonna go look at that really quickly. Not NIV. We're gonna change that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I guess the New King James version, because obviously, I could try if I wanted to read the old James, King James, right? But I don't really want to do that, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to. And I'm also thinking about live streaming it too, to be honest with you. What I'm gonna do tomorrow, I don't know. I'm still tempted, to be honest, because YouTube's a little iffy on the whole copyright system. So let's just say someone's playing music in the background and they just copyright strike my video, and the whole live stream just shuts down. And I don't like that, to be honest. I really don't. Where's the new King James? I have the King James there, but nothing to do. Trying to find it. I'm a little slow today. Like I mentioned, I had a late night service last night, and then I worked today. So, double whammies right there. All right, I found it. So here we go. This one sounds better. I don't know. Here it is. For I am not ashamed. See, for I am not ashamed. And this one says, so far it's the same, that part, right? For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God to salvation for everyone who believes, first the Jew, then the Gentile. This one says Greek, but back then it was Gentile, right? Back then it was Greek, right? For it is the righteousness of God is revealed from, this is my favorite part, from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. I don't know why, but this one sounds so much fire. He just feels it. Here, it's longer too, right? But the righteousness that is by faith, from faith to last. I feel like it's too much. Faith to faith is perfect. Just as it's written, the righteous will live by faith. So I want to memorize this verse really quickly. Not really quickly, obviously. And then the wrath of God, which is also very important. Honestly, just 18 to 24, it's good, to be honest with you, because look at this part. So the wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all goodness, against all godlessness and wickedness of people who suppress the truth of their wickedness. So look at this, God explaining here clearly what he's saying here, that we already know. We all have, we cannot suppress, it is true, because in our moral instincts, I believe in our conscious level, we know exactly what we're doing. We know that this is wrong, or we question it, right? I put it this way, right? We have laws, right? We have laws, we have government, we have all the systems in place, right? But what makes it, how do we come as a collective? As a group of people, human beings, that we sit and we all say, yeah, eating babies is not a good. In fact, those people should be either killed or thrown in prison. They should not be in society at all. That's not okay. like that kind of. I know that's extreme version, but what I'm trying to say is like we can all sit down and agree that that is bad. Even to a smaller level, like stealing, right? For instance, no matter how the level it is, how high or how low, whatever, right? Stealing money or stealing a cookie from a baby, it is still sin. I mean, it is still stealing, right? So again, in that very nature, I believe God imprinted us with something, and I believe is our moral compass, where we know what is true and what is not, right? But we suppress it with our sin, the wickedness of the world. So the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all good, oh my God. The other one says ungodliness, but this one says godlessness. So it's a little confusing with me, tongue twister there. And wickedness of the people who suppress the truth by their wickedness. So I explained that, right? Since with what may be known about God is plain to them. I love that statement. That's a statement there. It's plain to them, right? And what is that? Because God made it plain to them. And again, assures it to them. I believe that it's being pretty much clear right then and there that that is evidence of divine nature. I mean, divine design, right? Creation, right? Because again, it's hard to really say that our nature and our bodies and everything, that it was an accident or it was like something that just happened. It just happened to be this way. It's hard to tell because we have all these interesting thoughts, interesting ideas, and as again that collective idea where we can just come down and pretty much say that this is good and we should follow this way, while this is bad and we should not do this at all. And anyone who partake in this direction, well, they should be either thrown in the system, like a jail system, right, or the other option, right, capital punishment, whatever you want to say. It really depends on the crime, obviously. So in verse 20 says, for since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power, and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood what has been made, so that people are without excuse. So it goes right back to the argument, right? Where it's like, what if people didn't hear the gospel? What if people didn't know about God? But then that God is pretty. I mean, well, this is Paul clearly saying that no one's without excuse. There's evidence, even to a point where we have to question it. Really, like you cannot go on in your life without questioning that fact that maybe there's something more to this. Maybe there's something more to me, right? Again, like, not only the nature that I am, right, the purpose and how I feel, right, but also the environment around me, why things are the way they are. And I don't have this book. I had it over there. But again, like, just everything around us is pretty interesting. So, yeah. So, hopefully I can memorize that. I mean, that's going to be hard. And we'll see how that goes. So, that's what I need to memorize. Now, let's see what else do I need to memorize really quickly. Sin. Like, okay, so Romans chapter 1 is pretty good. No, not Romans chapter 1. Romans. Let me type it up real quickly. I believe it's Romans 3:26 or 3:20 or 3:23. Or somewhere around there. Let me see. No. Oh wait, no. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong place. Okay, here we go. So this is a good one, and that's pretty much true. So I use this verse roughly a lot. So here it is: for all have sinned and fall short from the glory of God. There it is. That's amazing. That's amazing scripture right there. I love to use this one when it comes to when I go to talking when I talk to someone, when I approach someone. When I want to introduce the gospel, I always try to make sure that I'm not like, I don't want to make them feel like I'm better, because obviously I'm not, or pretend like feel like I'm ahead of them or something, right? I don't want to give off an impression of my pride or anything like that. I don't know. I just don't like doing that. So what I always like to say is like, hey man, I'm a sinner like you. I'm just, none of us here is perfect. I'm not claiming to be perfect. So again, like this Bible scriptures clearly says, for all have sinned, fall short from the glory of God. So that means no matter how much I myself try to live a good life, right? Me, without God separately, I cannot. Because at the end of the day, I fall short from the glory of God. Why is that? It's because of sin, right? Because we all have sin. So we all have that. But what makes me different is the next statement. And are all justified freely by his grace through the redemption that came from Christ Jesus. There it is. That is why. And then it goes even further to explain God presented Christ as a sacrifice of atonement through the shedding of his blood to be received by faith. He did this so to demonstrate his righteousness, because in his forbearance, he had left his sins committed beforehand unpunished. And in 26, he did it to demonstrate his righteousness in a present time, so that to be just and the one who justifies those who have faith in Jesus. Look at that. It's a longer explanation, but it's repeating the same thing. Christ died for our sins, and it was an atonement, shedding blood, and therefore there it is. That's the act of love. That's the greatest act of love, right? And then when I say these things, and when I explain it to them, right, Christ died for us. And I talk about the resurrection. I talk about why is that so important? Because first off, a human being coming back from the dead, that's incredible. That's incredible alone. I don't know anybody who's done that, right? Nobody knows. And I think that's an amazing stuff. So I have to memorize this verse. I just realized. So 23 and to 26, I have to memorize. So it's gonna be tough, guys. I'm not gonna lie. For those who just popped in, so what I'm discussing is that tomorrow, I'm not sure if I'm gonna live stream this. Maybe, I'm still thinking about it, but I will record it either way. I'm going to evangelize tomorrow, and it's going to be a lot more different. Usually I like going to personal level, where I like to just come up to someone and just talk. That's how my approach is. But this time, I have a team with me. I'm actually with someone who's also fired with God, and he is going out and literally preaching the microphone, which I'm still not used to doing that. So the only thing is that he speaks Spanish, and I speak English, but I'm pretty good translating. So I'm gonna translate literally everything he says. So whatever he's saying out there, I'm gonna translate. I'm going with it. I'm fired up. So I'm like, yo, we're both doing this. So let's see what happens, right? And we're gonna set our tent. We're gonna have a table, and we're gonna have a couple of signs. But mainly, our signs gonna be focused on try Jesus. That's a question. That's a statement, pretty much. So just try Jesus. Just do it. Try it out. It's like an offer, right? So we're gonna see how that goes. And I just want to control the conversation. Right when they're coming up, at least I have some ideas on what they're gonna whatever angle they're gonna hit it at. The emotional side, where it's like, I tried all these things, I just don't think God can do that for me. Or it's like, I tried God already and I don't think it's been working, so I'm just gonna go back to my sins, right? All of this, right? And I want to talk about my testimony, share a little bit about what I struggled with. Even though I grew up in the church, I still had a lot of imperfections, and I still had a lot of issues. So again, either way, I also suffered. We all do. And I think that's the point. We're always going to suffer. And I think what's a perfect example is Paul. And I think it's in the book of Acts. So I'm going to show you right here. And I think, again, it's beautiful how it describes it, because suffering is such a unique experience, and it's obviously we don't want to go through it, but unfortunately we all have to. No one can escape suffering. Literally nobody can. Let me see there. Okay. Okay, the massive journey suddenly light. Okay. Here it is. So again, this is amazing stuff. I love this. So Bible stuff, right? I am Jesus when you're persecuting. So just talk. Pretty much everybody knows the famous road of Damascus. Paul is pretty much walking, trying to persecute Christians right after the first martyr, which is Stephen, and which is really cool what he says here. In a vision, Ananias, yes, Lord, he answered. The Lord told him, go to the house of Judas, right, and straight streets, and ask for a man from Tarsus named Saul. He is going, and for he is praying. In a vision, he has seen a man named Ananias came to the place, and his hands on him to restore his light, to restore his sight. But what I love what Ananias says here, Lord, Ananias answered, I have heard of many reports about this man and all and all the harm he has done to your holy people in Jerusalem. Basically, yo, bro, are you sure, God? Because this guy's been, this hasn't been a pretty good person. Okay, let's be honest, right? And look, he has come here with authority from the chief priest to arrest all who call on your name, which is at that point was called the Way. And believe it or not, I'm trying to get back into it. Maybe I will. I don't know. I used to design clothing, and I actually made a shirt that's called the Way. So the Way. So that's what people were called back then, who followed Christianity. They weren't called Christians yet. They were called the Way, right? But what I love what he says here, it's amazing. He says, but the Lord said to Ananias, go. This man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles and their kings and people of Israel. I will show him how much he must suffer for my name. So this is how I see it about suffering. It is a unique experience. It's something that we all have to go through, no matter what. Every one of us will either suffer for sins or suffer for God. It's suffer for sins, meaning at the end it really just goes to nothing, just death. Dust, and we're gone, and then we're condemned, right? While suffering for Christ, we're gonna suffer even more, unfortunately. But at the end, our rewards will be in heaven. So, and it's gonna be everlasting. So that is an important experience. And I can also introduce, Paul into this. So he's a perfect example. So again, suffering is a very unique experience. So we can use him for another, either a debate. I also was asking ChatGPT to help me out with more Resurrection talking points. And I love these two guys, Frank Turek and what's the other guy's gentleman? John Lennox. They're really, really good. Highly recommend listening to the guys. These guys give a lot of good ideas. Love them very much. So praise God for them, to be honest. So, okay. Now we know we have to memorize basically just by faith. And then we have to talk about the wrath on the unrighteousness, why we are unrighteous and why we deserve condemnation. But then because of Christ, and this pretty much sums it up for you, gives you the case, which is sin, then gives you the redemption, which is Christ, then presents the atonement, which is shedding blood, and you receive it by faith, right? So pretty good. Pretty much explains it pretty well. So nothing really to add on to that, to be honest. So okay, I would love people hit up at the chat. I'm just gonna say what's up, guys. It's been a while, but trying to get back in the game again. I'm gonna drink some more. Coconut water's pretty good. And I got seltzer. Okay. So now we're looking for problems. So this also can be used. John Lennox does a good explanation here. Let me find it. Maybe I could just ask chat really quickly. Because what I love what John Lennox says. So I wrote the justice of this world versus God's justice in John Lennox per position, even though I kind of wrote it a little bit stupid. So this is what I love, right? John Lennox says, I don't know if you guys can see that actually. Yeah, you can. All right. So the world's justice is incomplete. Lennox points out human... Yeah, never mind. Okay, so, yeah, what I was saying. Current power, often accountability. Philosophers that deny God, atheism, and naturalism, leave justice as a mere social construct. Because, again, I understand a little bit at least, right? I'm not that smart. But let's be honest, right? They can't answer this question. So, they can only try, but they can't still. Because it's going to be left up. So, let's put it this way. People suffer. People are oppressed. People are abused. People are murdered. People are killed. No matter what, something happens to them, and it's not fair. And all those bad people, they get away with it. You know, they never get caught. And at the end, if they do, it's already too late, and they go, you know, they die, right? But those people are left suffered, and then they also die. And it's like, what happens though? You know, where's the justice? You know, that justice was incomplete. And at that point, what was, you know, what happened? So are we just gonna let that happen, or is that just how things supposed to be? While the other argument is like, well, it's relative, right? It doesn't matter anymore because now it's a social construct, right? Because nothing really matters anymore. Nothing really. It doesn't, because again, whatever you want, it's only temporary, right? And again, it's like it's not fair. It's not. It really doesn't answer the question. So suffering is very falls into that too, in my opinion. Now, the resurrection declares ultimate justice. Now, Lennox connects the resurrection to God's promise that evil will not have the last word, and he demonstrated on the cross. And I believe is either in Corinthians or Timothy, I think. No, it's in Corinthians. Revelation. I don't remember. I think it was Revelation where Jesus says the last enemy that will be defeated will be death, and he did defeat death when he came back. He came back, so clearly, he was able to overcome that. He was the only one able to do that, and he's a perfect example too of what I just said, because he did nothing wrong. He did everything right. He lived by the law, clearly lived by the law. And then the funny part is they used the law to justify why he should be killed. It's hilarious. It's a crazy thing, and he gets killed for it. And then people who did it, they got away with it. But with Jesus, you can't do that, obviously, because he came back, defeated death, and after that, what happened? The whole building collapsed. We all know the story. The temple collapsed. So again, justice was served. So. And I love this part. The resurrection is not only about Jesus' vindication. Oh my God, vindication. Hopefully, I'm not saying that wrong. But also about the assurance of the final judgment will come. He says the resurrection declares that justice is not an illusion, right? And the abusers, terrorists, and evil men and women of this world will one day be brought to justice. So, I guess I'm assuming that's a book where it says the crown of hope. So there is hope, guys. There is hope. That's why I believe in Jesus every day. So, and again, I guess the resurrection is just is perfect, you know, because whatever he has to say is true. If he came back from the dead, that means we have to look at him, because that man has to be speaking some sort of like you got my attention. So we're gonna see. All right, now. God's justice versus human justice. Human justice is temporary, limited, and prone to error. God's justice, perfect, eternal, and guaranteed because of the resurrection. For Lennox, the cross shows that God takes his sin seriously, justice, while also showing God's mercy, forgiveness through Christ. The resurrection then demonstrates that God's justice is not just theory, it's real, active, and will be applied to all. So again, I mean, that's amazing stuff, because what kind of world we live in where the evil just exists and no good exists, you know? Even the concept itself, we have concept of good and evil. So I think that also is also useful too. I'm taking these guys. These guys are pretty good. So anyway. So what I'm going to do now... That is sour. Wow. I didn't know those things were sour like that. We're going to look Bible verses. I'm going to ask chat, actually, what am I doing? How can I phrase it? Bible versus problems of the world, or just Bible versus of problems we can't control? I think that's better. Or of the world that we can't control. There's one. Do not worry about the troubles of tomorrow, for tomorrow has its own trouble as itself. Sufficient is the day, as is, something like that. Are you just not gonna like give me the response, bro? Just give it to me. I don't know why it doesn't want to answer that question. So I could just stop. Yeah, just stopped. That's weird. Okay. Okay. I had a shower. Wow. I don't know what's going on. Alright. Let me try something else. Okay, so this one says, world's broken and out of order. That's a better way to say. We got John 16:33. In this world you will have trouble, but take it hard. Oh yeah, I love this one. It goes like, wow, I already forgot. Even I just read it. Why not really? It's I forgot the first part, but in me you may find peace. But in this world you will face many afflictions or problems. But be of good cheer or be courageous, for I overcome it. Right? So that's another one there. I think that's the same one. John 8:20-21 says, for the creation was subjected to frustration in hope that the creation itself will be liberated from its bondage to decay. Paul reminds us that the brokenness of this world is bigger than us, but God has planned for the restoration. That's pretty good, I guess. Escalations 8:17. No one can comprehend what goes under the sun, despite all their efforts to search it out. No one can discover its meaning. Human beings can't fully control or understand the world's problem, which is true. So Solomon's been cooking there. I guess that's why he's the wisest man. All right, and we got. So what do you guys think? Should I? Excuse me. Should I just memorize this one? I think this is a good one to memorize. I can use this for tomorrow evangelism. And all right, this one says trust in God's control. Proverbs 19:21. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. Yeah, that was a good one. That pretty much shows hope. Isaiah 55:8-9 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord." God's higher wisdom governs what we can't control. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna stick with just one. I'm gonna go escalations. I like this one a lot better. So I'm gonna copy and paste that. It's right here, so I got a lot of stuff here that I've been writing, so my kids use ChatGPT to help me out here. I was asking them, hey guys, let's look for evidence for resurrection in the Bible and outside the Bible. And this is what they gave me. I guess they want to do it quickly. So good on them, I guess. Alright, that's a good one. Now I'm getting tired, I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting really tired. What was that one? Proverbs 19:21. 55.8 phone. No, I have to show the problem, not the solution yet, because I just want to demonstrate the problem. Yeah. All right. Then I'm gonna take this one. This one is going to be for the sins and righteousness, I'm gonna say, and this one is pretty much what sin is. Pretty much ego. I already posted them. 23. Okay, I have to fix that font later. And then 18. So there we go, guys. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting tired. I might just end it here. Too tired. Okay, because I'm trying to think what else I could do. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm tired. All right. So the game plan for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have church, obviously Sunday. But it's gonna be fasting, so we're gonna be fasting the whole entire day, and then after that's finished, around 3 or 3:30. Literally, where I live is like almost mini Manhattan. There's just a lot of people walking, and there's just like this plaza where you can just pretty much do a lot, right? People sell fruits, candy, whatever. I'm gonna set up my tent, my table, signs, mics, and go for it. And just have faith in God. That's it. Put everything in God. God's hands. He got it. So, let's see what happens. So I don't know if I'm gonna live stream it. That's what I'm looking at. I might not sure. If you guys want to, you guys let me know. So if I will live stream it, I don't know where I'm gonna live stream it. If I were, I'll either do it in TikTok or on YouTube. I'm not sure, because YouTube has been a little weird because of the copyright system stuff. So I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll leave it like that. So well, I might do YouTube because I can clip it. I know TikTok you can't clip, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. I'm tired. I need a lot of energy for tomorrow. So anyway, I appreciate you guys and tuning in. So thank you, and we will be joining. I mean, we'll be doing another live next time, I guess. So if someone would join and talk, I'd love for you guys to talk with me, but it don't happen. It's fine. All right, peace.